the Ultraflex Football podcast, where we have fun with our friends while we talk about football. I am your host, Anthony Sutton, and with me are my friends Rob Green and Ryan Wheeler.
And this is the Ultraflex Football podcast. So, as always, we start off with something that has nothing to do with football, but is ultra flexual. And we do a Did You Know? And today's Did You Know is Disney related to all of those Disney fans.
All
Did
right.
you know that Lion King had the B team producers, artists, and animators making that movie? The A team was busy making. You guys have a guess? Any idea?
I guess it's something that wasn't very successful.
Not nearly as successful as Lion King, but I don't know. Many.
I'll just go with Aladdin because it was the same time.
Anthony, anything? Do you know any Disney movies?
I was thinking Toy Story, but that's probably not even Disney.
All right, it
is now.
Pocahontas.
Okay, that was the same time.
Yeah,
Wow.
Apparently. No, so actually, Lion King was made to be like the filler. I don't know what the movie before Pocahontas was and Lion King, but it was meant to just kind of be sent out there to keep Disney fans like distracted while they worked on Pocahontas. And Lion King ended up being having $1 billion at the box office, and Pocahontas ended up so far as at like $350 million. So
Aladdin was probably a bad guess, though, wasn't it? That was probably a pretty popular one too.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Aladdin was more popular than Pocahontas, right?
Yeah.
Does Disney?
I couldn't think of another one from that time.
Does Disney just have A and B? How many teams do they have?
I don't know. Maybe you should look into that.
In the 90s, maybe. Now they probably have like 10 teams. Who knows?
Sure.
The 9th and 10th team probably get their ideas scrapped all the time.
Obviously, Lion King didn't have like B team actors and actresses, but
the people working on it
were. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. Also, did you know that our logo changed? That was what I was going to lead off with, and I totally forgot. We have a new logo, everybody. Put that together, and I ruined a gift by my wife. My birthday was last week, and for my birthday, she bought us cups. They're Yetis, and they're really nice. And they have our old logo on them because I hadn't.
It's
told
just
her.
our secondary logo now.
Yeah, so we got.
That's going to be our retro uniform.
That's right. So we have a separate logo, but now we have our
we should set that one as our like Twitter banner or something, so we have include it somewhere.
Right, we have the OG followers; they would know what we're talking. What it is.
Yeah.
So we got a busy schedule today. We've got our typical rank 3. We'll be ranking ice cream flavors. We're also going to get into some Who Am I, a fun game where we list off some stats and ages and universities and see if we can figure out who the other people are talking about. And then we're going to talk about our FanDuel and or DraftKings lineup for week 1. Then we got some hot takes and listener questions. So let's go ahead and dive right into ranking our top 3 ice creams. I'll go first. Number 3 for myself is just a good old-fashioned soft serve vanilla cone. It was very, very basic, but I feel like the mom and pop ice cream is hard to find where we live. So something about that soft serve cone that I miss, and I think it probably elevated it up a couple spots, but that's why I have it in my top 3.
It's not in my top 3. I know my wife loves it. She'll like that pick, but
it's not in my top.
Not even close
20.
to my top. Yeah, I'm not a big soft serve fan personally. All 3 of mine are hard ice creams, and for my number 3, I got cookies and cream. Always love a good cookies and cream with the Oreos mixed in. Ryan?
Rob. So
don't copy me.
Every single, you know what? Okay. So before this episode, I was like, we're going to
just
start
make it your number 2.
So we're going to start off every episode with going Anthony, Rob, Ryan. That's going to be the order that we do so that it's always in sync and we don't have any tripping over like who's going next and all that. From now on, it's going to be Anthony, Ryan, Rob.
We think
Because
too much alike, apparently.
well, my number 3 is cookies and cream.
Good choice.
My number 2 is cookies and cream.
All right.
All right.
Pretty. I like vanilla, obviously, and then you can't go wrong with adding Oreos in there. So.
No, it's got to be one of the most popular flavors, so it's probably not controversial that we all had it in our top 3.
No.
My number 2 is another cookie ice cream. It's cookie dough.
Okay.
Ryan, did I steal one?
My number 2.
Cookie dough is the most overrated ice cream, but we can have that discussion.
Okay, so it definitely depends because if you get a bad cookie dough, it's not really good. But if you get a good cookie dough, it's hard to beat a good cookie dough ice cream.
My number 2 is limoncello. Thank you. Just want to get that out there. So now you can go ahead, Tony.
Oh, I mean, we were going to come back to your number 2. We were just talking about cookie dough, but I think the chips in the cookie dough ice cream are disgusting. To be honest with you.
What?
Yeah,
they give it a little like crunch almost.
Yeah, dude, it's all about.
They're just mini chocolate chips.
Yeah, they're gross. But I don't want to talk over Ryan's number 2. So give me
Ryan.
Limoncello.
Give us the details on it. Why is it number 2 for you?
I don't even know like what is in limoncello besides ice cream and lemon. That's all I know. But it's so stinking good, and it's so stinking good in a milkshake because like when I have ice cream, I always want milkshakes. I don't want to go get a bowl of ice cream. I don't want to go get a soft serve ice cream cone. I want a milkshake when I go get ice cream. When my wife brings ice cream home, she always is like, if she gives me a dish of ice cream, I ask her to put milk in it so I can stir it up and make it like a milkshake in a bowl. Like that's just how I roll with ice cream.
What about like a waffle cone? I love waffle cones.
No, maybe if I blend it up in my milkshake. Anthony, what's your number 1?
Number 1 for me is strawberry cheesecake, specifically Ben & Jerry's strawberry cheesecake. They had it on sale yesterday at Target, $3.99. That whole thing is gone right now.
Crushed it. Nice.
Yeah, that is by far my favorite.
I don't think I've ever had that one, but strawberry cheesecake's delicious. So
I like anything that has like graham
the ice cream's
cracker.
Great. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Graham crackers are good.
That's
a good choice. So my number 1 has been my favorite probably since I was a kid, but it's chocolate peanut butter ice cream. I love Reese's Cups. I love chocolate peanut butter. Really anything. Chocolate peanut butter, anything's delicious. Chocolate peanut butter ice cream is my favorite.
I'm with you on the chocolate peanut butter. I love chocolate peanut butter, and my number 1 is cookie dough.
All right.
So Anthony just poo-pooing on cookie dough here. I'm thinking it's my number 1 favorite.
You need to defend cookie dough as the number 1 option after he did that.
You don't even need to defend it. I think that most of the people out there think that cookie dough is absolutely delicious. And you're right. There is some cookie dough where it's like, it's okay.
If you get like one bite of cookie dough in the whole ice cream, that's just basically vanilla with some chocolate chips in it.
Right. And even that isn't terrible because the chocolate chips are delicious to me. Like I love the chocolate chips there. Anthony's like, I don't like chocolate in there. Chocolate's disgusting, Mr. Vanilla and vanilla ice cream. But
all right, you add milk to your ice cream. So before we get too far here,
almond milk to be specific.
Let's not just skip over the fact that you ruin a good dish of ice cream by adding almond milk.
Well, I mean, I think it's
delicious. Does it get like crystally when you add the almond milk? I remember like adding milk to my ice cream as a kid, and it got kind of crystally.
Yeah,
if you added a little bit, not a lot, then it's a milkshake. But if you add just a little bit, it makes it more crystally almost.
I think like you can probably feel what I'm saying here, but like you have too much dairy and your stomach starts churning. Like I can do milk, but milk and ice cream, that's pushing my luck, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a bathroom stop every 5 minutes.
Yeah, the soft serve ice cream usually does that for me. I usually have to skip on that.
I just put a Twitter poll out there at Ultraflex Sutton. Cookie dough ice cream, nasty or best ice cream ever? So go ahead. If you're listening, go vote.
What about the middle?
It's actually the second best ice cream ever.
No. We'll see what the folks think about cookie dough ice cream. So, all right, guys, let's do a Who Am I?
Let's do it.
I'll go first. I got a tight end today. I think we've done most of the other positions. Quarterback, we did Derek Carr, we did
Did you
Taylor
work out?
Heineke, we did
Mooney.
DJ Moore, we did Darnell Mooney. So I got a tight end today, and this tight end is
Really proud of your
29.
tight end today.
What did you say?
No, I said you're really proud of your tight end today. You just keep saying I got a tight end today.
I do have a tight end today, and every other day.
for you,
A
bro.
lot of squats. My tight end is 29 years old. He was a 4th-round pick, and he played the school now. There's been so much shifting around, but at the time, right now they're in the Conference USA. Does that do anything for you?
It doesn't do anything for me, but Rob.
Well,
is
I was initially thinking it could be Kittle just because of 29. I think he's 29. He might be 28, but I know he went to Iowa, so that's not right. I'm gonna go with Higbee, Tyler Higbee.
Dang, that's ridiculously good.
Rob is just the master.
I
Would you
can't
have
remember where he
gotten
went
it?
to college, but I
He
couldn't
went to
think of
Western
many.
Kentucky.
Okay,
Would you have gotten it if I said he had the 9th most receptions last year for a tight end?
no. Honestly,
you
it was the 29 years old that kind of gave it away for me.
Would you have
I
gotten
think there's
it
not
if I
many older
said
tight ends.
he had the 9th most touchdowns last year for tight ends?
No.
So he's got 9th most receptions, 9th most touchdowns, and right now he's being drafted as the 16th tight end. So I don't know if I would go much higher because there's other people that have higher ceilings. But
Yeah.
if you don't get a Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Kelsey, Kittle, and you just kind of want to punt on tight ends, then anyone that is a primary target in that Rams offense could get you points. So Higbee is my who am I, but Rob ruined it with the first clue.
I'm sorry. Next time
Did
I'll
you
make
do
sure
it?
I don't guess it right on the first try.
You do it every time.
No, you beat me one time. You
Oh,
got
yeah,
me
okay.
on. I don't remember
You're right.
who.
You're right.
I'm just
I
not
did.
doing
You
age.
got me on
next
Carr,
time.
I think.
Yes, I did because I guessed twice and I cheated.
I'm not doing the age
Dang.
next time.
Yeah, don't do the age first. I didn't even put the age on my guy. So
I didn't either. I don't know how old my guy is, but
I could guess how old mine is. You could go second, Ryan.
I'm
Go
going
ahead.
second because we're changing this order up because Rob ruined.
You might steal my guy, and then
everything.
I'm going to get it on the first guess. So
Oh, okay. Let's see. So this is a quarterback. In the years that he's played where he's been healthy every game, okay, there's been, I think, 6. He's averaged the QB 12 as a finish. I'm not saying he's been in the league for 6 years. I'm saying he's had 6 healthy years.
okay, is this we're guessing after this?
Yep.
All right, Anthony, you can guess first.
Because Rob knows
12.
it.
No, I really don't. I just, yeah. If I knew it, I'd say it.
My guess is so he's roughly 28, 29. I'll go. He sat some time. I'll go Kirk Cousins, but I don't think that's right.
I was thinking about him. So you said his average finish is QB 12 or his worst
correct.
finish? Okay,
No, his
average
average.
finish is QB 12. So I'm thinking of one guy who tends to be either really good or not very good, which to me would average out to about 12. I'll say Matt Ryan. Yeah.
False.
Okay.
Okay. What else do I have here? So in his career, I'm gonna give you his total touchdowns to total interceptions. All right. In his career, he's got 199 touchdowns to 102 interceptions. He's thrown. Let's see. Let me make sure that this is accurate. Oh, I can't say that. Okay, I'll skip that. You know what? We're gonna. We're gonna go with that. He didn't have. How about this? We didn't have a great rookie year, but years 2 through 4, he finished. Oh,
I think I know who it is now.
All right, Rob, what do you got?
Ryan Tannehill.
It is Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. I was thinking of a guy who was better than you expected, and like when he started out.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he was actually pretty good with Miami, but then
He was.
He just wasn't good. He didn't win games for him really. So
yeah, his second year he threw 24 touchdowns to 17 interceptions, and that was by far his worst interception.
Didn't he have a couple good rushing years too? I think early on he had a couple years where he ran pretty well.
Yeah, he had 211 yards his rookie year with 2 touchdowns, 238 his second year with a touchdown, 311, and then another touchdown. But he had 27 touchdowns and 12 interceptions his third year. Like, that's solid. He had 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions the year after that. And then...
So as a Bills fan, I've always thought he's worse than he really is because anytime he played Buffalo, he was terrible. Yeah. The Bills always beat up on Tannehill, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for him. And then he beat him like one time, and Ryan can't forget about it.
It was like twice. Pretty sure it was twice. My other thing that I was going to say was that this player was second in rushing touchdowns for quarterbacks last year. I just think that's bizarre that he was second.
How many did he have?
7.
So that definitely helped because we were talking about that. He finished like QB 12 last year, and it was like, how did he do that? But that obviously, that'll help. That's like 42 or 42 points.
Number one was
in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
Josh Allen last year.
Nope, he had 6.
Oh.
Lamar.
Nope. Jalen Hurts.
Played enough games. Yeah.
All right, Rob. What's your?
Should have guessed that.
Who is your? Who am I, Rob?
Well, who am I? I am Rob Green.
Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you, Rob Green.
That was a bad joke, but okay.
It's a dad joke, though. See,
it wasn't.
What we're here for.
Yeah. All right. So my who am I finished 10th in the NFL last year with 12 touchdowns.
What position?
I don't want to give away the position on the first guess because I want to see which way you go.
Oh no!
So it's a running back, wide receiver, or tight end. It's not a quarterback.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will say this person had 1 fumble. So that might help you or it might hurt you.
That's going to throw us off. 1 fumble. That was thrown in there specifically to throw us off. This is a tight end.
Maybe.
I'm going to go Austin Eckler.
No.
Oh. You said 10 touchdowns?
12.
10th in the NFL with 12 touchdowns.
10th in the NFL with 12 touchdowns. AJ Dillon?
That is incorrect. If I had the list in front of me, I'd tell you how many touchdowns those guys had. Eckler had to have more than 12.
Eckler had like 20 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, Eckler scored a ton.
I just looked. He had 12 rushing touchdowns.
Okay, yeah, this was total touchdowns. All right. Next hint. This player finished 7th in the NFL in rushing yards. So not a tight end, Ryan.
Okay. So you use reverse psychology there.
Yeah.
Nice. And it almost, I still threw out a running back though.
He had 1,002 yards. So he was the lowest of the 1,000 yard rushers.
Oh man. He had 12 touchdowns, 1,002 yards.
Zeke?
It's Zeke. So it's a guy that I wanted to point out everybody's down on. And maybe not everybody, but most people. He played injured all of last season. And he still finished 7th in rushing yards, 10th in the entire league in touchdowns. And was actually, can you guess what his finish was in PPR for running backs last year?
6.
It was 7. So
7.
Yeah. He's finished a couple more stats I had on him. Running back 13 or better in each of his 6 seasons. So his second year, he was running back 13. That was the only year he wasn't top 7, I believe it was. So
I wonder
I
if
know Tony Pollard's there and he's a big threat, but he's going to catch a lot of balls. Zeke is still going to dominate the touches out of the backfield.
I was going
And
to say,
he's
I
a
wonder
value in redraft leagues this year for sure.
if Zeke's value or his falling value is more a product of Pollard's rising value, or
But even Pollard is cheap too in drafts, in
he is.
redraft or dynasty leagues. They're both
Yeah.
cheap. I don't understand why. I mean, Dallas is a good offense that has
I feel like
been
visually Zeke just doesn't do it for most people, even though he's
Yeah.
still producing.
He looks worse than Pollard. I won't deny that, but they gave him the huge contract. Jerry Jones still loves him, wants to get his money's worth, right? He's going to get a ton of touches this year. And you can get him in like the 4th round in redraft leagues this year,
I also
which
think
is
that
the cheapest he's ever been.
Right. Fantasy fatigue is also a thing. Like, you just kind of get sick of having the same guys around. You know, they're getting older. It's like the Mike Evans thing. Like, no one wants to draft Mike Evans for some
I
reason.
love drafting Mike Evans, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah, he falls further than he should because it's boring. You want
it's Mike Evans. Like,
you want the hot young guy that's gonna set the league on fire, not the guy who's on a
Giving
Hall
you
of Fame
1,000
trajectory.
receiving
But
yards.
whatever,
Yeah.
I'll take him.
Especially when most of our leagues now are dynasty, and no one's.
Yeah.
If you say Zeke does have a great year, you're still not getting much for him because everyone knows he's already. I don't even know how old he is. 27, 28. He's getting up there.
I think.
I think he's 26, but he'll turn 27 this year. But he's young, just because he came into the league young. But yeah, he's a contender only piece for sure. If you have him on a rebuild, you are looking to sell him when he has a good game. I probably wouldn't sell him now because, like I just talked about, his value is kind of down. But I expect him to have some good games. So
better hope that Pollard doesn't come in and split 50-50 or something. And Zeke's value, I mean, he just looks like what everyone's perceiving him as, like the RB 15, somewhere around there.
He might even be going later than that. I should have checked what he was going for ADP wise, but
then he wouldn't. It'd be real hard to sell for like even a rebuild team. You know, like, you're gonna accept like a 2nd round pick for Zeke?
Maybe
might have to.
It depends. I mean, you can't get more than that in the offseason because running backs are devalued in the offseason, so you definitely have to sell them during the season. If you're a rebuilding team, it's going to probably be a take what you can get for Zeke. So whenever you get your best offer, if you ever get a first, it's probably a sell right away. But if a second's the best you can get, you probably just do it.
All right.
Let's look at some FanDuel or DraftKings lineups. We'll talk about our lineups. We'll talk about some people we like. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and start us off and let us know who you like?
All right, so I play on FanDuel, and I wanted to get in on some Bills action. So I went with the Thursday night game lineup, and I gave you guys like a whole scenario on what I need to happen for this lineup to really blow up, and I don't know that I need to share it with the listeners, but my MVP, who gets 1.5 points in this format, is Josh Allen. I'm going to put who I believe is just going to score outright the most points as the MVP, and then you need to stack them with, like, obviously you can't really not stack them because this is a single game format, but I got Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox. Most of us know that Dawson Knox lost his brother, and it just feels like he's going to come back and he's going to play hard for him, and our hearts go out to Dawson Knox.
I don't know if you can find it anywhere, but if there is a bet that Dawson Knox scores a touchdown.
Oh, I was just going to say the same exact thing. Like I had it. I was talking to my dad earlier, and it was like, we should both go bet the Dawson Knox anytime touchdown bet because I think it's money.
Josh Allen is Dawson Knox best friend on the team, and I think they're really close, like outside of football as well. Yeah. So there's zero chance that it's not known in the locker room that Dawson Knox is going to at least have a couple plays in the red zone. So
yeah, absolutely. My logic, like skipping out on someone like Diggs is he's going against Ramsey. I think Ramsey's probably going to lock him down. I don't know if he's lock him down, but he's not going to have a great game. Gabe Davis is just going to eat whoever is opposite of Ramsey. And then
but the only thing I want to say is, could they put Jalen Ramsey on Gabe Davis and double cover Diggs to try to force Isaiah McKenzie or Dawson Knox to beat you?
Of course, I think they could.
Plays.
Yeah,
if McKenzie plays. If not, then Jamison Crowder.
I feel like the Bills have way too many offensive weapons to do something like that. So I don't know. It's a possibility, of course, but I have an Allen Robinson as my other flex play, and then Darrell Henderson Jr. as my fifth player. I'm just hoping that the Bills are able to lock down. I mean, it's impossible because you can't lock down Kupp, but I'm hoping that they can keep him to a respectable game while Allen Robinson's the one going off. And then I need Darrell Henderson to just sneak a touchdown somewhere. That's it, though.
I think he'll get some carries for sure, with Akers being kind of iffy. Coming off the soft tissue injury, I think they called it, right? They never even really specified which body part it was.
Yeah.
Hamstring, quad, I don't know. Calf.
Yeah, I don't know. They said they've been splitting like 50-50 in camp, too. So hopefully he gets enough of a workload where he actually has some success and gets a touchdown. Of course, we hope that they don't score enough touchdowns to beat the Bills because we want the Bills to win, but go Bills.
Go Bills.
Man, just getting all jazzed up, just thinking about it, man. It's like 4 days away.
So close.
All right.
Cool. All right. So that's Ryan's Thursday night. I'm going to start with who I like on my Sunday lineup. This was just strictly games that are being played on Sunday. It's the FanDuel $3 million bonus league. I have a strategy to generally when I go to a FanDuel or DraftKings is to look for a bargain quarterback. Because typically, if you can get, you need to have some sort of difference in your lineup, which isn't a huge deal when you're doing the $3 million bonus because there's like 100,000 entries. But if you can get a bargain quarterback to go off and then kind of have the solid running backs and receivers that you know are going to or have the best chance to generally put up the 10 to 15 point weeks, you'll probably be looking pretty good. So in FanDuel, this quarterback is in the 17th spot just for Sunday's games. So there's one on Thursday, and then there's 2 on Monday this year, right? So that's 6 quarterbacks right there. So he's bottom third on the Sunday slate of games, and that's Jameis Winston coming in at $6,700.
Let's go.
I know Ryan, if you listen to some earlier episodes, is high on Jameis Winston this year. I think Jameis Winston is playing Atlanta. Last year they were the 29th ranked defense against the pass. I think with the addition of Jarvis Landry and Olave, Jameis should be set up for a good first week. It'll be indoors. You don't have to worry about any rain or anything like that. So I think Jameis has a really strong start to the year, goes off week 1, and then similar to what Ryan was saying before, I know he was talking about a 1-game scenario, but I also believe you have to stack your quarterback and receiver together and hope that they connect for a touchdown or 2. So I got Jarvis Landry at $5,700.
Was he the cheapest? Do you know, out of like the Michael Thomas, Landry, and
Olave was $5,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I've got the 2 of those, and I'll let Rob go, and then I got a couple more guys that I like in week 1.
All right. Well, I am on DraftKings because I don't play FanDuel. So I entered into the $5 million fantasy football millionaire was the contest name.
Oh man, he's going for $5 million.
Sounds like we're retiring, baby.
So the $5 million. I was looking at the prize breakout. The $5 million is the total prize allocation. First place gets $1 million, so it's really still a millionaire maker. But I think they just ditched the name they used to call it.
Gotcha.
I think second place was like 250, or maybe it was 500,000. 250, 100, and then just down from there.
Right.
Pretty much, if you finish in the top 100, I think it was, you win at least $1,000, which is nice.
So FanDuel does the same. It's 1 million to first.
Yeah, so they probably tend to be pretty much the same because they're in direct competition with each other, right?
Right.
So I probably just heard more DraftKings commercials a few years ago, so I downloaded theirs instead of FanDuel. All right, so I typically when I make a lineup, I tend to look at the defense first, which is weird. I think most people do quarterbacks. So I usually try to find, what I like to do is pair a running back from the defense that I choose, because my thought process there is if the defense plays well, they're probably winning, which means the running back is probably doing well and getting a lot of carries. So
Smart.
I looked for a game that I thought might be low ownership, because in a contest like the Millionaire Maker, you got to try to be a little different. So I went with the Panthers defense going up against Cleveland, which could be a decently high-owned defense, but I don't think it'll be at the top. So this is the Baker revenge game, like we've talked about in past weeks, that I think is definitely a narrative in this game. So I got Christian McCaffrey, who for some reason is the third-ranked running back on DraftKings, which at that price, I think he's a slam dunk, because who has a higher ceiling than McCaffrey at the running back position? Nobody. So once I saw that, I was like...
I'm just kidding. I mean
if he has like a 4-touchdown game, but he doesn't catch enough passes.
Yeah.
So I'm stacking Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers defense on DraftKings as my first building block. And my second, I then looked to the quarterbacks, and I was trying to find somebody that was in a game that had a high over-under, that was probably not the most targeted, like the Kansas City Arizona over-under was 53.5. And I think the Chargers and Raiders was like 52.5. So that game I faded completely. I didn't have any Chargers or Raiders in my lineup. I did have a few Kansas City Arizona targets I'll talk about later. But so for a quarterback, the game I wanted to target was the Philadelphia Detroit game, because I think Detroit's still, until they prove it, their defense is bad, and Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to have a big game. So I chose Jalen Hurts. He was at, let me pull it up. I believe he was 6,800, which was like QB 5 or 6 on the slate. And like you both talked about, I usually like to also stack with my quarterback. When I do a running quarterback like that, I don't necessarily think you have to stack.
Yeah, I agree.
So I kind of looked down the board a little bit. I looked at A.J. Brown. He was pretty high priced. Devontae Smith was moderately priced, but I didn't really want to play him with some of the receivers that were priced around him. So I looked to the tight end spot. Dallas Goedert, $4,500 was my target there. So I got the Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert stack. Anthony, I'll go back to you. You want to do that? Go over a couple of your other picks, then I'll finish mine off.
Yep. I also had Christian McCaffrey. That's one of the reasons I like having a bargain quarterback, so you can kind of go a little bit higher in running back. So I had Christian McCaffrey in there. And then I went for receivers that we've been talking about pretty much for the last few weeks. So Michael Pittman Jr., T. Higgins, Kyle Pitts is my tight end. He's only $6,000 on FanDuel. So I think that was like the 4th or 5th behind Kelsey,
Andrews,
Kittle, and there might have been someone else I was ahead of him. Maybe he was 4th.
Ertz could have been up there. I think he was pretty high on DraftKings.
or Waller.
So,
Yeah, maybe Waller.
So yeah, in my opinion, for me to get Jameis, Landry, Christian McCaffrey, who you got to get him while he's healthy. I also have Breece Hall in here, so hopefully he has a big first game. Pittman, T. Higgins. Then I have Keenan Allen. I know, Rob, you said you were staying away from the Raiders and Chargers games. I just feel like Keenan Allen always does well against the division opponents. And then I have the Dolphins defense against New England, mostly because we continue to hear about how big of a mess New England is. And I think, I don't know if the Dolphins defense is going to be anything amazing this year, but I do think they'll be able to create a couple turnovers against Mac Jones and the Patriots.
And they've looked bad, right? The Patriots offense in camp, so targeting them isn't a bad strategy. And I just want to say I'm not fading the Chargers or Raiders game because I think it'll be low scoring or anything like that. It was just I had to make a decision. You can't stack every game. And that was just the game that I chose to avoid of the higher over-unders. Because on DraftKings, those players were all like Herbert, I believe, was the second highest quarterback. Allen and Mike Williams were both, I believe, higher than any of the wide receivers I chose. So
send it back to you, Rob, and then Ryan. If you have any guys while he's talking, if you have any guys that you want to point out for Sunday, then we'll send it over to you.
All right, so I've got Jalen Hurts at QB, as we talked about. Christian McCaffrey at running back. My second running back, I chose to, for the rest of my lineup, I chose to target 2 high over-under games to fill out my running back and wide receiver positions. So I targeted Green Bay, Minnesota. The over-under there is 48, and Kansas City, Arizona, as we talked about, 53.5. So I stayed away from Mahomes just because he was the highest priced quarterback, but I did want one of his wide receivers. It's a complete guess at who has the big game week 1. I wanted to fit Juju in there. I couldn't make the money work, so I went down to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, hoping he hits for one long touchdown and pays off. But at the end of the day, he was $4,700. I believe he was the third highest Chiefs wide receiver, so I just went for that one. And then on the other side of the ball with Arizona, I'm just all in on Marquise Brown this year. We've talked about it all summer long. And I think Kyler to Marquise Brown will hit for at least 1 touchdown in week 1, hopefully 2 to help me win $1 million. So those are my kind of back and forth deep ball targets, hoping for a couple touchdowns from each if I'm going to win $1 million. Like that was what I went for. Maybe they get to 60 or 70 points in a crazy game and those guys hit some long touchdowns. So then after that, I targeted, like I said, the Green Bay, Minnesota game. As much as we hate running backs, Ryan, I had to put a second running back into the DraftKings lineup. But they got to fix that.
I know, man. They seriously need to fix that to the Ultraflex format. Just make, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flex players. Just let
me play some wide receivers, man.
I know, all wide receivers.
So to fill that spot, I kind of looked for a moderately priced just to save some money. And I wanted to get a guy in a game that I thought could be higher scoring. And I know in our show last week, I picked Minnesota to win this game outright. But I'll hedge against that a little bit, maybe win $1 million, and that could be worth it more than being right on the show. So I went with A.J. Dillon to hopefully sneak in for a couple scores. And on the other side of the ball, if they're playing catch-up, the touchdown machine, Adam Thielen, who has scored more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson, I believe, both of his years in the league. So hopefully he gets a couple more. I mean, I'm talking like 8 touchdowns already in my lineup. If all this happens, it'd be nuts. So then after all that,
win $1 million.
That's right. So after all that, I had about 51. I think I might have left $100 left over. I don't know. It was 100 or 0. I might have went to 0. If I didn't, I had 100 left over, but I wanted to target a wide receiver with my flex spot that I thought had a high ceiling. And the guy I chose at 5,100 was Christian Kirk, first game in Jacksonville. We've talked about it on our show. Everybody's talked about it on Twitter. He got a ridiculous, stupid contract. He's not worth the contract. We all know that. But he's not a bad player. And I think that coaching staff, Kirk himself, and maybe even Trevor Lawrence want to say, he's not as bad as you guys are saying out there in the media. And they might feed him. So I'm gonna buy into that narrative that he has a big first game as a Jaguar. And it might not continue, but I could see it week 1. So there's my lineup.
All right.
I like it.
So I did.
Ryan, before you go, I'm going to ask Rob. I got asked to do a Survivor League. So at the end of this, I'll just turn it into an Ultraflex Survivor League. So we'll pick the games each week. So just kind of think about that as Ryan talks. That way we can get a week 1 team.
So pick a team, and then once you use them, you can't use them again, right?
Yeah.
Typical Survivor rules. Okay.
Is this like, am I the third?
I
don't get to pick also. Or
so I filled out.
No, he think about it while while you're talking.
So for you guys and everybody else out there listening too, I was on ESPN just looking at their fantasy stuff, and they have a Survivor pool you can do for free, and you can make up to 5 different lineups, and they have cash prizes if you win. So
cool.
I went through and filled out 5 different ones just for the fun of it to see how I do. But I already have looked at the Survivor picks for this week, and there's a few different strategies that you can try to employ. But when you're doing one and only one, probably don't want to save teams. So
right.
No. All right. Who you got for Sunday, Ryan?
Yeah. So I made a second lineup, and this will actually correlate with my hot take for today. And I did the same thing that Anthony did. I go for bargain quarterback with the stack. And my bargain quarterback was Baker Mayfield. I believe he was even lower than Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I think it was $100 cheaper.
Yeah. So I went with Baker Mayfield, and I paired him with DJ Moore. I felt like if he's going to go off, then the best receiver. I don't even know if Robbie Anderson's going to be healthy when he plays. Their third best is someone between like LaVisca Chenault and Terrace Marshall. So I had to go with the best player on offense besides Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. I'm hoping Baker can like run some touchdowns in. I just feel like the dude's going to ball out on Sunday. So I wanted to have him as my quarterback. I have the best running back in the league as my running back with Derrick Henry. I don't know what Rob was talking about with his Christian McCaffrey stuff, but
hey, I was talking strictly from fantasy.
I know. I'm just
I won't argue that Henry's the best running back.
Yeah.
Runner of the football. I mean, would you want to try to tackle that guy?
Heck no, dude. What is he, like 260 pounds? I'm not getting in front of that. I mean, when we played varsity football, I didn't want to tackle guys that were over like 180 pounds, and I don't think any of us were.
What do you think Nate Newton's doing these days?
Shout out to Nate Newton. The only running back over 200.
Maybe he'll find our podcast at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So I had Derrick Henry. I went with Aaron Jones, like another running back for Green Bay. Rob, you said you took A.J. Dillon. I went Aaron Jones. I have DJ Moore. I went with also a player from the Los Angeles Chargers in the Raiders game. I went with Mike Williams, though. And then I also took Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Rob, you had him. And then I also took Christian Kirk. Rob.
Yeah, we're thinking a lot alike tonight.
I know. This is just freaky deaky. And my tight end, I went with Mark Andrews because I got to pay up at tight end. And my defense was the Chargers defense because I just think that with that offensive line for Vegas, I think that those defensive ends can just eat up Derek Carr alive.
Some sack fumbles.
You have one or two of those folks that no matter what lineup or how many lineups you do this week, you're going to put them in there no matter what because you love them that much?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker going against the Browns.
The narrative's there. I feel like he's got to ball out, right? If he goes in there and he lays an egg, that's just going to be so awkward.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm buying into that as well. I think he has a big game, and I think if he does, so does McCaffrey. And for me, every lineup that I make on DraftKings is probably going to have McCaffrey in it because at the third price running back, I don't want to turn that down. He should be fully healthy, and a fully healthy McCaffrey is you can't top it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to jump into some hot takes next while everyone gets ready for that. Rob and Ryan. Rob, since you had time to think about it, and then Ryan, now you'll have time to think about it. Who's your one or two Survivor picks of week 1?
All right. So let me get the week 1 schedule because I know I did, like I said, I did 5 different ones on ESPN, and I made 5 different picks just to kind of spread it out.
Just so you guys know where I'm leaning, my numero uno is probably Denver against the Seahawks. I mean, you could probably use Denver a lot, but I also don't want to use them against a division team. So that takes away like 40% of their schedule right there.
And you don't want to be kicked out in week 1. Right?
Only hesitation with them when I'm in a Survivor League. I don't like to pick a road team, especially in week 1.
I don't see any. The first team that came to mind when you said the Survivor, I was like, I would go. My first team was Denver. That was the first team that came to mind.
So that was one of the ones I did pick
okay.
on my 1 of 5. So I'll give you my 5. You let me know which of those you like the best, and then we'll go from there. But one of mine was, like I just said, let's see, the Broncos. I also went with the Titans on one of them.
Wow.
I went with the Ravens on one, which I don't like picking road teams, but there's not a lot of big home favorites this week, so it made it tough. I also went with the Colts, which was another road team.
I don't have the schedule in front of me. The Ravens play the Jets and the Colts play Houston, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember who I want to say my 5th was the Bengals at home against the Steelers.
I was just going to say, I think that if I were to have to pick a second one, it would be the Bengals over the Steelers week 1 in Cincy.
So I think there's 2 different ways to play this. So if you want to get risky, you can choose to try to save teams to later on. And then if you do survive later on, you're going to be able to pick those teams that other people already burned. Or you can just try to make it as far as possible, not save teams, see how far you go.
Or you can put all your eggs in one basket. You think Baker's going off.
You could pick against one team, too.
Yeah, you could put Carolina in there.
We had Seattle winning, 2 games?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
So you could just hammer everybody against Seattle, but they're probably not going to go winless, so you probably won't win if you do that.
No. But I've never tried it.
I'm fine with going the Broncos week 1, but like I said, I don't like picking road teams, but there's not a lot of big week 1 home favorites. So that was why on a couple I picked the Titans and I picked the Bengals. I think they were the 2 biggest home favorites of the week.
It's not a road game for Russell Wilson. It's a home game. It's a smash for me. It's
there you go.
Denver.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Denver for week 1. So I'll submit the Denver Broncos for the Ultraflex team. And now it's time for hot takes.
Can I go first? Because I already kind of threw mine out there.
Do it.
For a hot take. All right. Baker will lead the league in total yards in week 1. That is my hot take.
All right. I'm glad you said week 1. All right.
No, that's it. That's just week 1. And then after week 2, he'll probably be like, as quarterback, he'll probably be like quarterback 20 something. But week 1, Baker leads the league in total yards.
Baker's putting everything into week 1, and then that'll be it.
He'll be spent.
All right. So Ryan has a immediate hot take. We'll know if that's true or not in about a week from now. We're doing this on Sunday night, so I'm going with a long-term hot take. Mine's probably going to be about a 2-year hot take. I live in North Carolina now. I'm a UNC fan, so I went back to college for my hot take. My hot take is Drake May, the starting quarterback for UNC, will be everything that Mitch Trubisky and Sam Howell were supposed to be.
So he's going to be drafted overall number one overall?
No, I'm not saying he'll be drafted 1-1. I'm saying he'll be an above-average starter in the NFL.
So you're saying in the pros?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he is the prototypical pro prospect. He's a redshirt freshman this year, so he won't be eligible until the 2024 draft. But he's 6'4". He weighs 220 pounds. His brother, Luke May, played basketball at UNC and was 6'8". His other brother plays baseball at the University of Florida. So a very athletic family. He's known for being a pocket passer, but he's actually a better runner and faster than a lot of people think he is. And it's a little bit unfair because he's played 2 games now when most of the country's only played 1. But right now he leads the country in yards with 646 yards through 2 games, so roughly 320. And he has 9 touchdowns to no interceptions. So he was originally committed to Alabama as a 4-star quarterback, and then switched to UNC when Mac Brown became their head coach. And he sat behind Sam Howell last year and learned. And now anytime you're a 6'4" going on 6'5" quarterback that can move, NFL teams will be interested. So he's already, I think I looked, he's mocking around the 2nd and 3rd round for 2024, but he'll go in the first round and he'll be an above average NFL quarterback.
Okay, so quantify this so that we can say this was right or wrong, right? So you're saying he's going to be a first-round quarterback?
Yep.
Okay, so do you want to? Is that your hot take? He's just a first-round quarterback, or do you want to he'll be a top 10 pick?
I think he will be a top. Sure, I'll do 10. I just want to do something I can remember. His jersey number is 10, so that's easy.
Okay.
We'll do a top 10 pick.
All right, so a top 10 pick in the 2024 draft.
So Anthony, are you saying to go trade for 2024 first-round picks to buy Drew May? That was his name, correct? Drake May.
I am, obviously, if it makes sense. I'm not trading away Josh Allen for a 2024 first to go to get Drake May. But I know the conversation last year was get as many 2023 first round picks as you can. That way you can get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. We watched the Ohio State game last night. CJ Stroud's arm looks ridiculous. I mean, overall the performance was okay. Probably even bad for CJ Stroud.
It hurts losing your number 1 wide receiver 2 minutes into the game, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Notre Dame seemed like they're finally strong enough and fast enough to keep up with some of the top tier teams defensively. So that'll be interesting to watch as the year goes on.
For sure. Ready for my hot take?
Ready.
All right, I got a week 1 hot take as well. We will know next week. So, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. When you think of those two, what do you think of?
Rush ability.
Rushing quarterbacks, right? These are the two, probably the 2 QBs most well known for their rushing ability right now. So my hot take in week 1 is that Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts will each throw for at least 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
And one of the 2 will lead the NFL in week 1 passing touchdowns. So make it a 2-parter.
Wow. All right.
Bang.
So does that mean you can be wrong on 2 fronts?
Sure.
Okay.
Make it 2 hot takes.
Okay. Well,
this is how I get back in the swing of things as far as our hot takes rankings. I just pushed mine out 2 years.
this is spicy. I like it.
Lamar wants to get paid.
Oh yeah,
he's out there to prove it, and he's playing the Jets.
He literally just retweeted, someone had one of those memes about a girl sleeping on one side and the guy sleeping on the other side, and he's like, oh, what's he thinking about, or whatever. And the guy is thinking, why haven't the Ravens paid Lamar Jackson yet? And that's what he just retweeted 13 minutes ago.
Yeah, he wants his money. And when you want your money, you're going to play your best.
Yeah.
He's ready. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, that Philly team is pretty stacked at this point. That offense is awesome. The defense, they keep adding pieces to. I want to keep betting the Philly over. I might even have to sprinkle on. I can't pick them to win the Super Bowl because it's going to be the Bills, obviously. Yeah. But I might need to pick them to win the NFC. There's probably decent odds there. They're probably not in the top 3 for that. But
right.
All right. Those are hot takes for this week. And now it's Ryan's favorite segment, Listener Question of the Week.
Hooray! Listener question of the week. We have 2 of them coming at us. All right, first one is, what is your go-to road trip snack? Going on a nice long road trip. You got to stop at a gas station to fill up that first gas tank, first gas stop. You go in there. What do you grab every time? I mean,
I can go first. Mine's pretty easy.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Road trip snack. I will 99.9% of the time, especially if we do most of our road trips late at night. That way Grayson can sleep. Something that will help keep me awake are sunflower seeds. So pretty much every road trip is going to be sunflower seeds, specifically dill pickle and or ranch.
Sunflower seeds was one of them. I thought of 2 instantly. That was one of them. Because they're a snack you can keep having it. They don't fill you up.
right.
Really. So you can have them the whole trip, really.
A whole bag of them is like 480 calories or something like that.
The only downside is if you don't. Yeah, the only downside is if you don't have a place to spit them into. So you have to kind of think ahead.
Gotta have a cup.
Yeah, that's exact. So go ahead, Rob. You want to finish yours? Sunflower seeds and
so it was sunflower seeds, really any flavor. And then my second one was beef jerky. I love beef jerky. I don't like how pricey it is. It's one of the more. It's an expensive snack, but it's delicious.
It is. Yeah, it's delicious. The problem with beef jerky for me is it gets in my teeth like crazy. I have such a hard time eating beef jerky without getting like all in my teeth.
Oh, that's popcorn for me. Like,
popcorn too.
Popcorn is just the kernels are always stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, apparently my teeth just have attachment issues. But I'm gonna go exactly the same as you guys. It's always sunflower seeds. I walk in, grab a bag of sunflower seeds, and I always walk and grab one of those Starbucks coffees too, one of the glass containers, because I drink that Starbucks coffee and then I have my cup and I spit my seeds in my Starbucks cup, and I'm
good to go.
I'm good to go for a 12-hour drive.
Actually, coffee is a good. I don't know if it's technically a snack, but coffee is always a go-to for me as well.
And then you get that sunflower seeds with all that salt, and it sucks up all your pee, so you don't have to pee for a while.
That's Starbucks glass containers, like very, very good.
It's perfect. All right. Our next listener question of the week comes from Samantha Green. Sam Green, not the singer. Is that a singer? Sam Green?
Sounds like a singer.
You're thinking of Sam Smith?
Oh, Sam Smith. That's what it is. Okay. Sam Green, Sam Smith, sounded right to me.
She's not going to like that you called her Sam, by the way.
Samantha. I said Samantha, didn't I?
You started out saying that.
Okay, it's Samantha Green to all you listeners. Samantha Green says, if you were given $1 million to do your best karaoke, what is your go-to song? Now, I want to start this off by saying, if someone's going to give me $1 million to sing my best karaoke, does it need to be good? Because if it needs to be good,
that's my stipulation here. Yeah, does it need to be a good song?
Yeah, I mean, I'll sing Happy Birthday. If I got to get through a song to get $1 million, I'm going Happy Birthday. But for real though, I'm going with like probably a Cher song.
Ooh, okay.
The song that she sings when in Burlesque. Feeling broken. That song when she's like sitting on the stage and the guy's recording her with the lights. I love that movie.
I have not seen Burlesque, so I can't say no, but
barely.
I have heard you sing Cher.
Oh, baby, let's go.
If there's one thing I'm not...
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. If there's one thing I'm not good at, mine's gonna be quick, is remembering the words to songs. So mine would be something that's very generic. That way the crowd can... I know karaoke, the words are in front of you, but like the crowd can get involved and into it. So mine would be something like Sweet Caroline, or just something very generic. That way the crowd can just take over.
Get the crowd into it. Yeah, that's a good choice. So I was thinking kind of along those same lines, and I was like, who could I sing? I just went to his concert recently. Garth Brooks.
Mm.
There's a lot of good Garth Brooks songs. But you could sing, you're in a bar, whatever, doing karaoke, friends in low places.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to sing with you. It's a pretty easy song to sing.
Yep.
I think that's a home run for a karaoke song. But I do want to shout out my wife. It's probably her favorite song. I know I've sang it in the car a lot. I've heard her sing it in the car a lot. She loves Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody would be a very fun one to sing. It's kind of a long song, and there's some big notes in that song.
I was going to say, man, you got some.
That
big
would be a
parts
fun
to
one
love.
to do if you were really into it, and if you could
Meg-
get everybody else into it with you.
Oh, yeah.
Megan and I were just talking about at our wedding when that song came on, and all of the girls were on one side, and they knew all the lyrics, and all the guys were on the other side, and none of the guys knew the lyrics. So, and we have
feel
video to back that up.
all the lyrics. I don't know. I think I probably know all the lyrics. I don't know.
Once the
Then you
song's
weren't-
playing and you get into it, yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
know the words.
Then
Or
you
at
weren't
least most
singing
of
it.
them.
Well, I think that everyone gets so I sing all the time. Anthony, you don't know the words to any song, so you usually just make up the lyrics as you go. Rob knows all the lyrics. He just doesn't.
I hum
necessarily-
all the time.
What did you just say?
You're a Hummer?
Oh,
I hum.
okay.
What do you think I said, Ryan?
Nothing. I thought you said you were a bummer. That's not what I thought you said, but that's not what I heard.
Did you see the video of the drummer from the Foo Fighters? His son.
Yeah.
His son was playing "You Are My Hero." That's my singing voice, everybody.
That was beautiful. We've heard you sing, dude. You brought us into all of the spin the wheel.
Man. Yeah, that was a good segment. We're going to have to bring that back next year.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring it back for something else, maybe just something random to hear Anthony.
Think about that. What can we spin the wheel for?
Give us any ideas that you have, listeners. Anthony's still going. This is fantastic. He's got a beautiful voice.
Well, that's the issue, and you guys know this. I don't know the next line, so
you
that's
know,
all
like
I got.
the chorus or the first line, and that's about it.
All right, week 1 of the NFL season is upon us. The Buffalo Bills start the season against the Los Angeles Rams. What a spotlight the Bills are under. They went from being a nobody to now having 5 or 6 primetime games. And it's just exciting to be a Bills fan. So I cannot wait.
Have you guys? Do you ever remember the Bills kicking off the season? I was asking my dad that. I was like, I don't remember them ever being the opener
Literally,
in our lifetime. I mean,
I was gonna say, when did the kickoff game start? Has that always been a thing?
probably not. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but I'd venture to guess this is the first time that they started the season. So
It has to be, yeah.
super
Exciting
exciting.
times in Buffalo.
And it's a super exciting time to be in Buffalo. You can find us on Twitter at UltraflexFP. You can find me at Ultraflex Sutton. Go vote on Nasty Cookie Dough Ice Cream. And we also have some game picks out there for this
Yes.
week.
Go vote on all our game picks, please.
We're
And
going
they're
to
all on the
compile
same
that.
thread.
We're going to compile that and see how you guys vote. The games will go and compare that to our picks to see who's better at picking against the spread. You can find Rob on Twitter at UltraflexRob. You can find Ryan at UltraflexRyan. We also have an Instagram page. You can find the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. We also have a Facebook page. We got everything out there. We have a new logo, so it's exciting times to be part of the Ultraflex family. Thank
And
you.
we are a podcast of the people. If you have anything you want us to talk about, anything, just go onto our Twitter, shout us out, and we'll get your questions or whatever you want us to talk about. We'll bring it up. We'll talk about it. That's what we do. We just bros talking.
Bring on the
Is
questions, everyone.
What we do. We'll be back at some point this week for just a little bit to kind of give an update on week 1. So we are excited. The next time we'll be talking, it'll be about the Buffalo Bills winning on Thursday night. So
Go
we will
Bills.
see you all next time. Go Bills.
Go Bills, go Titans.
Go Bills.